Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This one, I want to try to do a story time for you. And this is something that I've been wanting to talk about for a minute because I'm sick of people asking me this question when they see me outside and about. So that way I can have something saved in the bank that they can look at so I never have to answer this question again. So if you ever knew me, I kind of walk with a limp. And it's a limp that I don't even notice because I've been doing it for so long. And it is because I wear something like this in my shoe. This right here is called the Ritchie brace. And the Ritchie brace allows you to walk but with keeping your ankle dorsiflex. So if this is my leg and this is my foot, it keeps the foot up so that you don't slip. Normally, if I were to have this off, it would dip down. Now, when I wear boots, I wear something like this that doesn't go on the inside of the shoe, it goes on the outside, and I use these strings right here to lift my ankle up. And when I go to the pool, I have this on, it does the same thing. The reason why I have all this stuff is because I have something called drop foot. Drop foot is a condition where pretty much you can't move your ankle up, and I have it on the right foot. But the thing is that people tell me, how did that happen? And I always say football, it was football. But this time I'm gonna go deep in depth onto what exactly happened on the day that I did get this condition. Because technically I'm paralyzed in about 8% of my body. So I'm gonna tell you how racism got me paralyzed. So in order for you to figure that out, you gotta take me back to senior year of high school. It was summer going into that year. And what we tried to do as a football team for my high school, Arabia Mountain, is that we, instead of having a team camp inside of our facility like we normally would, Coach saw lightning in a bottle and thought we should go to the Fellowship of Christian Athletes camp because he was very into the Bible and African proverbs, third eye, the chakras, all that stuff. He was really into that, so he thought it would be a good thing for us to go to the Fellowship of Christian Athletes and do our team camp there. The reason why we enjoyed it as players wasn't really for all that. It was because instead of going up against each other, we can actually see if we was good enough to go against other teams. This will be key later on. So when we get there, it's the first night. And in the first night, we see all the teams that are there. And it was very obvious how the teams in Georgia are stacked up. You have the great African-American teams who are mostly all athletes. And then you have the super disciplined teams from the Caucasus Mountains. So obviously our head coach at the time, Coach Pritchett, yeah, there's a lot of Coach Pritchett, so I'm sure everyone docks. There's a lot of Coach Pritchetts in the world. So Coach Pritchett, he used that to his advantage to try to get us to play to our level and not treat this like as a camp, but like actually try to compete when we go up against these big schools. Because we was like an up and coming team at the time. We came off like our best season ever winning the region. The following year we had to make sure we can go 2 for 2. These are teams that are well established, higher classifications than us, like instead of 5A or 6A, 7A, but winning state championships forever, and they always go to this camp. So I never forget, the night before, he gave us a nice speech. And pretty much the gist of the speech was, you know what these guys think about you? Do you know what they think when they go on the field? Sure, we might have the speed, might have the talent, but they think you're undisciplined. They think you're stupid. They think they know how to run plays. That's when I started thinking, whenever I was playing high school, we played the Cula or East Coweta. If you think of the names of these schools, you can probably guess the people that I was on it. When we would score a touchdown, they would assume we go for 2 because teams like ours don't get kickers. And I would like to say it was a pretty good speech when it came to making us perform well. So we went up against Roswell, who the previous year made it to the state semifinals, and we completely waxed them. We completely ran them off the field. I know it might just be scrimmaging, but it felt good to beat a team like that. And we was carrying that mantra of they think we're the undisciplined team. We're gonna be the disciplined team. We're gonna be the team that don't make mistakes because they think that we're like this because we're black. So the following game was against Buford. Buford High, for all the people in Georgia that knows, are probably the last boss of high schools. When it comes to Buford, I think they made it to the state championship in 6A, like 4 years in a row. 7A, they're still going on to this day, I think. I haven't really been following high school, but I'd still be hearing that Buford's always good. So he gave us the same speech again because, as you can tell, guess where their star players? The running back is black, one receiver is black, maybe the corner's black, but the whole team is white. Once again, he said the spiel, and it really got to me. So I was like, all right, I want to prove these motherfuckers that they don't know what they're messing with. And that's where it all came crashing down. I think it was the second or third drive. I was going up to the second level, and I was going to get a linebacker. He tried to shed the block, like always. But I thought he was weak, and I thought I was stronger because of the things that coach was saying to us, that we were the stronger athletic guys. When I tried to stop him from shedding the block, my leg hyperextended. So he didn't know that, so he kept shedding. And my leg hyperextended, and he shedded me all the way to the ground. My leg basically went in like this. Pretty much I felt a sharp pain in my body the whole time, crying in agony, not really with tears, but like the whang, 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 because this was my first major injury ever. I broke my fibula off the top part, chipped off to the side. I tore my ACL and my LCL, and my perineal nerve got compressed. Now, you don't know what the perineal nerve is? The perineal nerve is the nerve that allows your brain to tell your foot to lift. At first, I thought my body was in shock, but then over time, I realized that this is probably going to be my life for the rest of the time. I always found it pretty interesting to relive that very moment because I wonder how hard I would have gotten if I would have never gotten that speech. I know it might be a little clickbaity, but really, my racism got me paralyzed from the top of my right shin down.